right, how you guys doing out there? This is a Good Fire channel, and today I wanted to talk about Klaus Schwab. I don't know if you know who this man is. He is the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, which the logo is right here. And people have noted that this logo conveniently has a few numbers in there, 3 to be exact. I don't know if you can see that, but coincidence? Maybe. I don't think so. I believe there's more to it than that, but that's my opinion. So he is the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. He's also an engineer. He's German, and he's an economist, and he wants to save the world. So I just want to I'm going to play some clips, and I'm going to be laying out a case for this man being something that is the antithesis of the hero that he's trying to present himself as. This is charitable, overlord that's here to save the world. And I think that he is the furthest thing from that. And I'm going to show a couple clips, couple articles, and stay tuned till the end. I'm going to wrap it up and make my case by the end, and I'm going to put there's something I want to wrap this up with at the end that'll make everything really clear. So here, we'll start with this clip here.
Thank you for this opportunity to address this community at this very...
Let me find, I believe this is I just wanted to play one little part of this clip. I think it's about the 2-minute mark. He says something kind of interesting. He's making his speech. He puts these posts out, from the World Economic Forum about their policy and the things they're working on, so forth. But this is one of his recent speeches.
And the gap between those who are connected and those who are not is so dramatically felt today.
So at the beginning of the speech, he's talking about the connectivity of the world and how it's helped the world and how he wants to connect everything. And he says that everything is connected, but he's basically, to summarize, he's saying that the world should be more connected. We should push this times 1,000. We have got to connect everything to everything, everyone to everything, everything to everyone. He wants a network of just total connection. That's as far as I'm going to take it right now, but just listen to a little what he has to say.
The World Economic Forum developed a joint action plan together with the ITU, the World Bank, GSMA, and our industry partners. It highlights key immediate actions for private-public collaboration to ensure that digital connectivity is available and expanded to those who need it most. This has already been shared with 170 countries and is in active use. This fast-track partnership is deeply encouraging. A number of our partners have highlighted that we have made more progress in the last 4 months than in the last 10 years. Technology.
Just want to point out you can kind of hear it in his words, the acceleration of this and his anticipation of that. I mean, they're chomping at the bit to roll this stuff out.
Has been a critical weapon also in our fight against COVID. In April, the World Economic Forum established the COVID Digital Response Network, which has already compiled a compendium of over 90 lighthouse examples of how technology can be used to respond to the COVID crisis. In the Great Reset process, the Forum is undertaking to shape the post-corona era. We have to pay also special attention to the SMEs, small businesses which make up...
Okay, he starts to go into small businesses and things like that, but you heard him say Great Reset. He's always talking about this. I'm pretty sure that he uses Build Back Better all the time, which is also happens to be Biden's little spiel that he's just spewing all the time. But wanted to take, he is an engineer. If you remember that, he's a German engineer and economist. He's also the author of The Fourth Industrial Revolution. Okay, this is about the next big thing. I mean, the Industrial Revolution changed the world forever, and there was no going back. He writes about the transformation that this new technology is going to have on the world, and how we're not going to be able to go back. He's also a transhumanist, and this is where it starts to get a little interesting. He is deeply into this, and transhumanism is the social and philosophical movement devoted to promoting the research and development of robust human enhancement technologies. Such technologies would augment or increase human sensory reception, emotive ability, or cognitive capacity, as well as radically improve human health and extend human lifespans. They want to be immortal. We'll get into that. I mean, this is about immortality. This is about defying, the I guess the lifespan that God has kind of laid out for us, or it goes on to say such modifications resulting from the addition of biological or physical technologies would be less permanent and integrated into the human body. This is about expanding the mind, the body, adding implants, chips. I mean, you're going to hear, let me find, I think that would be, yeah. And I wanted to, so that transhumanism, it's about transcending the human condition. And I wanted to read a few quotes from people who are, Klaus Schwab wrote the book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, and also COVID-19, The Great Reset. These books that are detailing and laying out the plans of these people to just completely rewire and restructure the world, socially, economically, all this stuff. I mean, and they want to do it through, and it's going to be primarily through technology. But here I found these quotes, and he's actually in this list of quotes, inspirational quotes about Industry 4.0, which is the coming revolution, industry revolution of technology. Klaus Schwab says, I'll just read his quote real quick. He said, "We must develop a comprehensive and globally shared view of how technology is affecting our lives and reshaping our economic, social, cultural, and human environments. There has never been a time of greater promise or peril." They laying it on thick. He's talking about it's fear tactics. We have to get this done. It's just funny how they always talk about how it's like this is our chance. This is our chance. We gotta get it done. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. But that's Klaus's, who's an engineer who wrote these books. But then I want to go on to Andrei Kudelsky, if I'm saying that right. Who knows? And his quote is, any skilled engineer can take control remotely of any connected thing. Society has not yet realized the incredible scenarios this capacity creates. And he says that an engineer can do this, can take control of anything that's connected. See what I mean? Any connected thing. And Mr. Schwab is a he is a engineer extraordinaire. So just keep that in mind. That engineers can take these things they can take this web of connections, and what they plan to do is, I'll play another clip of Schwab here. He is talking about, let me find the, yeah, he's here he is talking about, just a short little spiel here. Hold on. Right towards the end, he starts talking about, I think he starts talking about how Biden, he's a big fan of Biden. He's glad that Biden's in there, and that he's saying how Biden will help implement this new world system, this new era of connectivity with technology. So I'll play that.
So those people also can enjoy, and also, of course, on a European basis, with the much better cooperation compared to what we have seen in the past, we ensure that we do not increase unfairness in the distribution of all the remedies which we need in order to fight this virus.
And obviously you are a champion of multilateralism, a multi-stakeholder society. With the departure of Donald Trump, as we were just talking about, do you see this now injecting new momentum into a multilateral system, a global multilateral system? And would we return to the traditional multilateralism, do you think, or is the world on a new path?
I think also here we need a reset. We cannot go back to the system of multilateralism which we have established after World War II.
At that time, it was, the nations had trade agreements, and that's what he's saying. It was just like the basic. We were connected after World War II because of the treaties and stuff, but we still were sovereign, separate nations. He's saying we have to do away with that. It's an old system. It's archaic.
What we need is a reform of the international system. Just think of the WTO. We have to integrate the new dimensions of global trade, like everything which has to do with e-commerce and so on. So definitively, multilateralism will get a boost by the election of President Biden. And I'm very hopeful that we can now create the necessary systems which we need for the 21st century.
Good to talk to you, Professor Schwab.
So Biden is going to help implement this. He's very excited that Biden's in there and he can help him out. He's going to help implement these things. All right. I wanted to talk next about the Internet of Things. And to give you the quick definition, it is the interconnection via the Internet of computing devices embedded in everyday objects and enabling them to send and receive data. They want to put chips in everything. Chips, sensors, they want surveillance on everything so they can sense all of it. And the way that they want to collect it. They want to collect it as data. I'll show you this diagram. These tech companies, you'll hear them using this. They're using it all the time. They're talking about the Internet of Things. That's what's coming. It's the Internet of Things coming to you soon. This diagram, you got device connection, data sensing, communication, data analytics, data value, human value. This thing is just going to create a big web of data that they are going to eventually going to be able to process and surveil us through. So this, I don't know if you've heard this, but this is a buzzword for me. I hear about it all the time. But if you hear about that, the Internet of Things, your toaster is going to be spying on you, basically. Wanted to get that in there. You need to just keep that in mind. The Internet of Things. This is what's coming. But here is Klaus at the University of Technology in Lithuania. And this was right before the annual slumber party. I believe he and his friends went back to their parents' house and sat in a circle and played Truth or Dare and hugged their pillows. And until their parents told them they were being too loud. They get out of hand. These guys, these rascals. But I want you to pay attention. No, this is actually the garb for. See here. This is for the University of Technology in Lithuania. These are the actual outfits that they wear. The dude looks like a Sith Lord. It's pretty creepy. But you've got the badge over here. It's also repeated down here, but it's Scientia Ingenium Virtus, which is science, creativity, and virtue. It's just their motto. And here I won't really go into this right now, but I wanted to draw your attention to this. This is a 9-pointed star, or what the occult calls an Enneagram. And I'm going to get into what this symbol means here in a few minutes. But just stick with me. This is important. But it's repeated here. You got the 9. You got it up here on his, on his cute little robe, and we got it down here on the podium. So to go into the Enneagram, okay? This is an occult symbol, okay? And what I really wanted to dig into here is what it means in terms of sin, the sin nature. But Christopher L. Heuertz came out with a book entitled The Sacred Enneagram, Finding Your Unique Path of Spiritual Growth. In it, doctrinal errors abound, perhaps none more than the doctrine of sin. We were born virtuous, so we are told in this book, but then developed a tragic flaw, often through disappointments or hurts from our parents. I mean, I'm just going to stop this dude right here. This is just the antithesis of Christian worldview. We are born into sin. Okay, if you're a Christian, that's what you believe inherently, that we all fall short and we're all full of sin. But this thing is inverting it. We're all born virtuous, but he's saying it's you get damaged a little bit. You're born virtuous, but then we get damaged by life and it's life's fault. Blah blah blah. Our tragic flaw is the place where we park our destructive addictions. The aim of the Enneagram, though, is to guide us into a rediscovery of our true self. Christian readers, however, should take note that this is not what the Bible teaches. Yeah, I mean, this is the point I'm trying to make. It's an inversion. This is what the occult does. They invert things. They turn them upside down. They turn things that are in the proper order. They turn them backwards to invert or reverse the meaning of things. It's powerful. It's a powerful tool they use. And I had here I got a picture of the Enneagram. And Catholicism has picked this up, and Catholics actually speak against it, but they actually use this in the zodiac. I've seen them put, like, the pagan traditions will put the zodiac around here, around the outer circle, and then have the Enneagram, which has 9 points, which is 9 different personality types. And it's sort of like a personality test, I guess. And yeah, the 9-pointed star, though, the Enneagram we have here is, you see here, possible. Let's go into the origins of it, because several people have claimed to be the beginning, the inventor of this, or person that rediscovered it, but it's always come through demonic forces or, just otherworldly sources. The precise origin of the Enneagram system is hotly debated. There's like 3 different people who claim, 3 main ones. The more probable origin of the Enneagram system is in use today in the 19th century. Russian writer Gurdjieff. Gurdjieff was fascinated by the occult and studied various spiritualities, creating his own school of thought. So he claims to have invented it or rediscovered it from demonic forces or the gods, his version of the gods. Yet the Enneagram system wasn't fully developed until Bolivian philosopher Oscar Ichazo founded the Africa School, which explains his legacy and teachings. The goal of the system is to teach people how to transcend the lowest levels into the highest state of mind. This state is found in all of us and is available to each of us. The higher state is our awakened self and is experienced as a state filled with great happiness, light, liberation, unity. Hippie, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you get it. But this is a complete inversion of what Christian doctrine teaches. That it teaches the reverse, that we are born into sin and we are only saved through Jesus Christ. That's why we need a savior. Just to make that clear. But the Vatican has speaked out against this, and this was written in a document by the Vatican in 2003. Gnosticism has always existed side by side with Christianity, sometimes taking the shape of a philosophical movement, but more often assuming the characteristics of a religion or para-religion, in distinct, if not declared, conflict with all that is essentially Christian. Also, an example of this can be seen in the Enneagram, the 9-type tool for character analysis, which is used as a means of spiritual growth, and it introduces ambiguity in the doctrine and life of the Christian faith. But healthy, let me see here. Yeah, we've got this occult symbol, the Enneagram, and it's right there. And it's basically a tool for mapping out the human mind and the human personality. And he is constantly talking about technology and mapping things out. You know, we've got the Internet of Things. This is what they want to do. They want to chip and map everything. And this is, to me, this is a symbol of control, of the human, complete control and enslavement of humans, of humankind, of mankind. That's what this represents to me. I mean, this is, when you start digging and see what these people are really into, this is, it's loud and clear to me. But the symbol is right there in your face. The Enneagram, the 9-pointed star. So we've got, and I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into transhumanism here really quick. We're talking about, you know, transcending, using technology to transcend God's design, basically. And it talks about enhancements. And what I wanted to go through is the predecessors here, the transhumanism predecessors. Now, this is interesting. Transhumanism owes some of its origin to Friedrich Nietzsche, which introduced the concept of superhuman, or Ubermensch, who is, you know, Superman. It basically just means Superman or superhuman. In his novel, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, and he wrote that. I mean, he came up with this idea, but it's not an old idea. I mean, it's not a new idea. It's an old one. I mean, I wanted to go into. He came up with the idea of the Ubermensch, the Superman concept, and transhumanists have kind of borrowed it. It lends to the transhumanist narrative. And in 1923, the geneticist JBS, Science of Future Predicted Human. Yeah. And here's an interesting one. In 1948, Norbert Wiener, I don't know how you say it, defined cybernetics as the scientific study of control and communication in the animal and the machine. So keep seeing this mapping out of control and communication. It's about communication. It's about communication, surveillance, data, and having an all-seeing kind of perspective. This is just, I mean, they're yielding to this. But yeah, that's the Ubermensch. I wanted to go into that. This is more in depth on. It's Nietzsche's idea of the ideal superior man of the future who could rise above the conventional Christian morality to create and impose his own values, originally described by Nietzsche in Thus Spake Zarathustra. And Ubermensch is a concept in philosophy, Nietzsche, and yeah, it's in the book, he posits that the Ubermensch is a goal for humanity to set for itself. And it's, of course, to rise above the Christian morality and transcend it. So we've got that. This is the guy who seeded the transhumanist movement, who is, of course, probably a huge inspiration for Mr. Schwab here, for Mr. I like to dress in, you know, robes, Sith Lord robes. And he also, with his wife, has created the Forum of Young Global Leaders. I think it's with his wife. I don't know. He and several others have created this sort of mentoring young leaders, and it's full of CEOs. And I just wanted to throw this in here, that Vasudha Vats is the vice president of Pfizer. And I think she's currently a member, or it's all these influential CEOs and everything. But I think Zuckerberg was in here, DiCaprio at one point, and he's one of their cronies. But we've got, the vice president of Pfizer in this organization, but he is the Mr. Schwab, Mr. Fuhrer, he is he's the co-founder of this organization. And we've got Leonardo DiCaprio. We've got the World Economic Forum, and we got a nice little 666. He is the United Nations messenger of peace on climate change. The founder of the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. That's not vain. I just put my name on it, you know. But yeah, he's one of their cronies too. He's deeply involved in this stuff. And I just wanted to make the point that this is the theme that keeps coming up in all of this is control. You know, it's about mapping everything out. And he says to this person,
thank you for this support.
You know, as he's talking and making this speech, it's talking about how it's about connectivity. We have to connect everything. We have to connect everything. You hear him talking about it. I mean, he says it, he repeats it over and over and over. Everything has to be connected, seen, you know, coalesced, analyzed. It's a surveillance state. It's what it's going to devolve into. And we've got, of course, like the Internet of Things is a buzzword that the tech companies are using like crazy. But I don't want to be a total downer about this. I do want to kind of give a message of hope, because we can still stop them. You know, I honestly believe that we could slow them, definitely slow them down, and save as many people as we can in the process, wake them up. But Confucius said that signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor laws. So symbols, and I'm going to do a video about this later, about we're just bombarded with images and symbols and things thrown in our face, and we have no idea the power or effect it's having, not only consciously, but subconsciously. And that's our subconscious, unconscious mind and subconscious make up the majority of who we are, what we are. And our thoughts, our being, our soul, it's all being manipulated in ways that we don't even know. We don't even understand. We don't even know the beginning of this. And you just see guys like this. And he's walking around in black robes with the Enneagram on his chest. Let me find it. Where is you at? Yeah. So he's walking around with this symbol on his chest, deeply occult symbol. Also wanted to point out that one of the guys that supposedly discovered this symbol was high on drugs, extremely high on drugs. And yeah, another guy who says that he said that he discovered it and wasn't given credit. He attributed it to a spiritual state that he was in, and he did auto writing. He auto wrote doctrine and other things to come up with this symbol. But whatever you do, just try. You know, I know this stuff can be overwhelming, but just try to just keep your eyes open and be consciously aware. And this stuff is in our subconscious, but we can bring it to the conscious mind and be aware of it. And it's sort of, these things are like spells that these people use. And if we can bring it to the conscious mind and become aware of it, it loses a lot of its power. But we're all under this in some way. Like I said, it's everywhere. But just keep your head up, pay attention, and just don't let this stuff get you down. Just keep fighting.